stop going to white liberals for money and then complaining about their power. Malcolm X said the white liberal is the worst enemy to America and the worst enemy to the black man. The white liberal's purpose is to perpetuate a system that will keep the black man dependent on the white liberal. Because the truth is, you can't be dependent and free at the same time. And that's the part nobody wants to say out loud, because once they control the way you think and what you depend on, they don't need chains anymore. But for just a minute, step outside of it. I challenge you. Let's do a little thought exercise.
Yes, she crouched it and more articulate than most people in the government. I will vote her in to take Representative Jasmine Crockett place any day of the week. What this lady said on this video is very important, though that is not our focus. That is something I'm going to show you very important. First, take a look at this.
Because the truth is, you can't be dependent and free at the same time. And that's the part nobody wants to say out loud, because once they control the way you think and what you depend on, they don't need chains anymore. But for just a minute, step outside of it. I challenge you. Let's do a little thought exercise. Look at this critically, not emotionally. That's where real freedom starts. Because the more you're emotionally attached to your race, the easier it is to control you. It's realizing we've confused education with indoctrination. The idea that we're inferior and therefore we must receive. That's the last stage of colonization, people. The last chain left on our minds, the insistence that we're inferior. Shelby Seal said inferiority was established through white superiority, and that white guilt has infantilized Black America, and it's allowed white liberals to act as our caretakers rather than our equals. And the more we tell white people they need to give in order to be, the more we'll receive, and the more we'll depend, and the more we'll reinforce the same lie that we're inferior. And it'll never stop. Because dependency isn't progress, it's slavery dressed up as compassion. Because when you depend on the system, you can't be controlled by it. And control is the opposite of freedom, because freedom is never the reward for moral innocence, it's the reward for moral responsibility. Shelby Steele. The more you rely on them for a check, the more you'll vote for that check. You'll vote for what they call empowerment and assistance. It's not about progress. It's not about excellence. It's about profit and power and your vote. And all that time you spend scrolling, start reading what makes you uncomfortable, not 3-minute videos that enforce the cage around your mind. Slavery was psychological, not just physical. Stop pointing fingers and asking for regression packaged in a reparations check. Change your mindset.
So what is the mood?
She gets it. She is right. This is exactly what Democrats are doing. They have been doing this for a very long time. And Black people will continue to fall in line. It is impressive to see people waking up like this. When I watched that video, I could not actually bypass. I had to just download immediately, to show you. Now, going into this, have you noticed that Democrats are creating crazy outrage just because of what is coming on? Recently, this ghetto Democrat, Jasmine Crockett, had this to say. When you take a look at this, Jasmine Crockett calls Pet a loser in an interview with Don Lemon. If that aren't the pot calling the kettle blank. This lady is fond of playing these games every single time. Before we go into the full analysis and what Stephen A. Smith did on The View, take a look at this.
So what is the mood in Washington about Pete Hegseth? I personally feel that he should go, but there needs to be an investigation, but still, it looks bad.
Here's the deal. We knew that when this president decided upon the people that were going to be in his administration, we knew that we weren't going to get the best. And Pete Hegseth has always been a loser. The fact that now people want to say, oh, we should get rid of him. I'm sorry, the signal leak didn't inform you that this guy wasn't the guy that should be leading our troops. But what I hate the most about this is nobody sees the hypocrisy. Right now they're saying, oh, throw him under the bus. And then Pete Hegseth is like, no, throw those under me under the bus. But we know what happened with my colleagues in the House and the Senate, and they wanted to remind service members that you are not to follow an unlawful order. So then they decided, and it's Pete Hegseth that wants to now go after a sitting senator for simply reminding people of their oath while at the same time going after people that they are claiming violated their oath.
Yeah.
That is absolute hypocrisy and is absolutely disgusting, and it is beneath our service members.
Let me just remind you that Pete Hegseth said in 2016, I do.
One of my friends said this: Democrats are fleeing hard, cooking up this fake outreach skit because they know the country's done with the BS. Hegseth is solid, save his time, build his name without the handout. Without the handout, Crockett, she's just mad. Her party is imploding and she is the poster child for it. Keep backing, Jazzy. We aren't listening. That is the simple truth. This is a good reply to this lady, right?
Let me just remind you that Pete Hegseth said in 2016, I do think there have to be consequences for abject crimes. If you're doing something that is just completely unlawful and ruthless, then there is a consequence for that. That's why the military said it won't follow unlawful orders from their commander-in-chief. Okay. Now, given the fact that the secretary himself said that, I'd love to give you the opportunity to perhaps change your position on what you said.
I'm not changing a thing.
Okay.
I didn't stutter when I said it.
You want to stay loud and wrong?
Well, you could call it loud and wrong all you want to. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to mine.
Okay.
Here's the reality of the situation. First of all, I don't give a damn what Pete Hegseth has to say because I will tell you right now, he was never qualified for the job. When you talk about DEI and eradicating that, excuse me, what was he doing hosting Fox News on the weekend and all of a sudden he's the defense secretary? Please, give me a break. I don't care what he has to say. Let me get that out the way. As it pertains to Mark Kelly, what I was talking about is military. What I did was get on the phone with family and friends who have served in the military. And I said, we're not civilians. This is not the court of law. You can be implicated for implying something if you are a former military member or you are a present military member. It wasn't what Mark Kelly said. It's the fact that he was a combat Navy pilot who served in the military who would tell folks, ignore an order when it could get them in the
He did not say
I said
ignore,
illegal.
what he said.
I said illegal. I'm talking illegal. I understand that.
He said you don't have to follow an unlawful order, and that is in the military code of conduct.
And I'm saying to you, hold on, which I'm aware of.
But it didn't sound like you were aware of that.
Well, no. I disagree with you.
Stephen, can I ask you a question?
I had two governors, by the way, text me to tell me I was wrong, and they agree with you.
You are wrong.
I had two senators that reached out to me and said you weren't wrong at all.
Well, Mikey Sherrill.
I disagree with Stephen A. Smith on one thing. Saying Pete was not qualified, knowing his background, what he has done before coming to the TV, is crazy to even say this, right? He has saved. He has worked for a very long time. He had experience. Then you just want to dismiss that because he had a job with Fox News. That is what I don't understand. Because you have worked in the military, you should not be able to have a job on TV after some time. That is what these people are struggling to actually back up with this. I don't agree with him saying this. I believe you're saying the fake outreach. They put out ridiculous videos like this on TikTok, to pick up young minds that don't understand what exactly is going on. I don't know if people can actually get what Democrats are doing at this point. They don't have anything to offer, so the only thing is to just play along with this every single time. Elections are coming up. This is a new one. The mainstream media will pick up, they will continue to sing like a song. Oh, he committed a crime. Oh, he did this. That's insane, right? I'm going to end here. As of the short clips you see at the end of my videos, that is for the white algorithm. You can always skip. God bless you abundantly.
The entire planet has fallen off a cliff into the stupid zone.
Non-stop until almost midnight. From 7 to 12, he posted 160 times.
And while the president wasn't exactly sure which organs were scanned, he knew which one wasn't.
He beat Hillary by 41 points.
Right.
And this ain't got nothing to do with color.
This ain't got nothing to do with color. It's either God's side or Satan's side.
Politic. Even getting off.
If the Democrats
Because how many times do somebody asks?
for
J.D. Vance should be the next president of the United States. If you want to serve in the American...
Give interviews, I don't do that.
J.D. Vance should be the next president of the United States.
Happening at the moment.
Yeah. President Obama.
He's blatant censorship.
Because he says he has a team of fact checkers.
The FCC.
Want them to stop fooling around with my right to say what I feel.
Americans, it's a part of who we are.
Because that is really something that didn't happen before. Does anybody else watch The View? Because I think there's...
I'm going to say one.
look, there are certain rules of free speech that we must all like.
To have a television show.
To spreading lies.
Somebody to get up there, not
Said that he doesn't.
Dave Chappelle.
Without of interest.
I mentioned last night Trump was bragging about. Surprised to see Darth Renner.
Between now
60 minutes for editing.
RC